hello, and welcome back to the Women's Rugby Show Weekly podcast with me, Sam, by the way. It's a very special bonus episode of the podcast today as we talk to two Black Ferns ahead of their Pac 4 decider against the USA this weekend. We're going to be speaking to Stacey, Waaka and Theresa Setefano to return to the Black Ferns 15s jersey for the first time since the Rugby World Cup final back in 2022. Obviously, we all know how that final went, and they've both been lighting up the Sevens circuit since then. So we're speaking to them about their return to the 15s jersey, just what we're going to expect from them and a couple of other Sevens converts, and what we should expect from the Black Ferns heading into a massive World Cup year. Let's get into this one. But first of all, Theresa, Stacey, thank you so much for chatting to me today. Just obviously back together in a 15 shirt for the first time in a while. Pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, we feel like nannies, to be honest. She's older, she's already 30. But it's cool, it's exciting. We both haven't played since that World Cup final. So it'll be cool to see what we can do on the weekend.
Yeah, obviously, it's different memories for us over here in the UK compared to yourselves for that final. But kind of, what are your memories of it, kind of from that day, kind of to bring into this year?
I honestly felt like that whole World Cup it was like it was a movie. Like things that happened, we would have never had expected to happen. So in the semi-final and in the final too. And so it is definitely one of the highlights of my career. Also being able to play in front of my family as well. So at home at a packed out Eden Park, which I don't think we really thought was going to happen as well. And so lots of good memories from the last World Cup.
Yeah, that's the same for you, Stacey.
Yeah, 100%. I think for me it was the pressure moments, like Theresa said, and against France in the semi, against England in the final. You sometimes can't plan for those moments. You think about it, you as a team, and you say this and that, but when it happens, it's actually obviously the ones who can stand up. And being, I suppose, more experienced players now, hopefully we can continue that with our old heads, um, but be able to still perform. It was fun. It was so much fun. It's something, it's unforgettable, and it was just cool to have our families there to celebrate with us straight after.
Obviously, you've not been in a 15s jersey for a while, but you've been busy in the Sevens games. Kind of, how much kind of experience can you take from the last few years in the Sevens and kind of away from 15s, kind of bringing into this year?
I think one thing that we can bring just from sevens is just how intense all the games are. And so the thing that we talk about all the time is being able to, I guess, function under pressure and that it's actually a privilege pressure. So it's a game of rugby, and so the stakes are high, but not that high. And so everything's quite fast in sevens and it's quite quick. So that will probably be the difference is instead of 14 minutes, it's a little bit longer than that. So yeah, keeping the mind switched on for that whole game.
Yeah, and I think adding on from that, it's going to be about adapting on the go. We see so many different pictures in sevens, and we have to adapt really quickly. Only 14 minutes. Got a little bit longer this game, but it's still, working with our insides, our outsides, and whole nother ball game, directing the forwards around the park and trying to make our job easy, but just for a longer time.
Obviously, Stacey, you had a bit of league kind of thrown in between the last World Cup and now. Just kind of, how was that and kind of how was that experience?
It was fun. It was brutal. It was very sore because there's a lot of contact. But it was cool for me to just do something different, something outside of my comfort zone, something I never knew growing up. Connecting back with some friends from New Zealand and players who I played with here. It was a really cool experience. It was a short one, but cool for me to play in a different jersey with new people that, you've only seen on TV. But yeah, just be amongst a game that's so massive in Australia. It's, they love it over there. They live and breathe it. For me to take a break, it was fun. Got injured, and sadly, but that's okay. I still made the most of the opportunities and the chances that I did get.
And a couple of your Sevens teammates making their Black Ferns 15s debut this week. And kind of, what can we expect from them and how exciting is it for those to kind of make that step up to the 15s jersey?
No, just really excited for them. They're the young up and coming talent, not like us oldies, and so um, they're just really excited to play, and so they're fast, they're elusive, they're pretty unpredictable, Georgia and Reese, and so I know that they're gonna do great things on Saturday.
Yeah, they're like young, but they're still quite experienced in the sevens arena. So it'll be cool for them to transfer their skills and what they can do on that paddock over here with us. And I know they're hard workers. They've been stressing a little bit about their positions because of there's so much to learn as opposed to sevens. But I know they'll go well. Once they're out there, they'll have calm heads. They'll be able to do what they do. And I'm just glad that they're on our team.
You mentioned kind of being the older states women in the teams, kind of see Braxton, Sorensen McGee stepping in, 18, kind of lighting up at the moment. Kind of how impressed have you been with her and kind of what's she been like to be working with?
Oh, she's got a rugby head of someone that is a lot older than her, and so she's another one that's also really calm. Her skill set is unreal, and so just being able to work with her, and I guess she's had a come from a really awesome Opaki season, and she's just brought all her skills and her knowledge into this season, and you can't tell that she's 18 until we get off the field. And she's doing her TikToks and the things that 18-year-olds do on the field. No, the age can't tell at all.
Yeah.
And kind of looking at other players, obviously Sylvie Brunt was kind of first came in that World Cup that you're both involved in, but kind of seeing her now stepping up to that next level, just kind of how nice is to see from where you saw her at the end of that World Cup to where she's now, and kind of seeing her excel in a New Zealand shirt.
Yeah, you wouldn't think she's only what, 21. We call her Bubbles. That's actually her nickname because she is so young. But it's been cool for us supporting the Black Ferns since the last World Cup and actually seeing her progress. She has a skill set that I mean most other people in the world don't. She can do it all on attack and defense. And the cool thing about her, she's actually a very quiet and nice soul. But when she's on the field, you would never think that because she tackles so hard and she can do everything. So it has been nice to see her grow, not only mentally, physically, everything that she brings to the game. It's special, and I'm glad that she's a Black Fern and she's got so many more years in this jersey because we only want this team to succeed. And yeah, it's just nice to be there playing with her again.
And obviously, there's someone in the potentially in the centres for the US who you know quite well from your sevens career and alone. And just kind of how excited are you to kind of come up against her, but how impressive is it to see what she's done in the 15s game since you joined Bristol as well?
Oh, 100%. She's done amazing things for women and women's rugby, and we are really grateful for that. I think their last game at home against Canada was a record-selling crowd, and so she is a big part of that, and she's a big advocate for women's rugby, and she's also a very funny, very open and genuine human being as well, which is awesome. And so what you see is what you get, whether it's on social media or not. She's like that in real life as well.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool seeing her here. We can't wait to play against her. We've done it on the sevens pitch quite a few times, but to see her in a different element, it's actually cool how many New Zealand people get behind her too, because like Theresa said, what you see is what you get. So she's so nice. She's real cool to actually talk to. But just grateful for all the things that she does off the field, not just for women's rugby, but women's sport in general. I know she's got a huge following now that can benefit everyone in so many ways.
But obviously, it's kind of one game at a time heading into the rest of the year. But kind of how much of your minds are on that kind of first few games of a World Cup and kind of the excitement building into it?
I think we're kind of just taking it day by day, game by game. So this will be our first game, like Stacey said, since the World Cup, and so focusing on that at the moment, and then just enjoying the journey because it's been really nice being in the Black Ferns environment. Very refreshing getting to reconnect with new players, and then some older players, new management here, and
Yeah.
so it's been a really awesome Pac 4 campaign, and we're just hoping that we can finish on a high tomorrow. Yeah.
And it's kind of final one for me, really. Kind of how important is that kind of team ethos and kind of family feeling within the Black Ferns, kind of as a driving force, you both to come back from seven, something you've been so successful in, and kind of come back from sevens into 15. Kind of how important is that for you both?
It's massive. It's real important. You know, we talk about culture being the most important thing off the field so that on field can come together, and that's really big in this team. There's a few people here who take charge of that, and we have so much fun. There's lots of cool things that happen here off the field so that when it comes training time, we know how to kind of flip the switch. But it happens in every team, in every aspect. You know, if you get that right, it's so cliche, but it's so true. You know, you need to enjoy the journey. You need to do the work when you need to, but most importantly, you need to have fun with your sisters around you, and that's exactly what we're able to do here. It's a much bigger group, obviously more players here, more management. So it's cool to try and connect with everyone when you can.
And just how exciting is kind of potential of a. I think we've got up to number 30, up to 30,000 tickets sold for the World Cup overall. Potentially a sold out fan. Just how exciting is it, and how great is it to see the growth of the women's game?
I think it's really exciting, and very fitting that England are hosting the next World Cup, and so a step, I guess we did it here in New Zealand, and so seeing how well the sales are going at the moment, it's still what like a few more days until it starts, and so the hype over there is amazing. Everything I'm seeing on social media, and so it's only bigger and better things for women's rugby. And yeah, I think it's going to be really cool.
It's yeah, like Teresa said, it's cool seeing the hype. It's cool seeing how fast spread it is across the country. I know there's so much interest, everyone's getting behind it. It's gonna be tough, but we're ready, we're up for the challenge, and we just know no matter where you play, there's gonna be lots of support. There's gonna be a big crowd being there to support women's rugby at the end of the day. So whoever comes out on top is gonna be the lucky ones.
And a brand new trophy for you to aim for as well.
Yeah, looks
No.
awesome. Can't wait to get our hands on that, hopefully.
Perfect. So thank you both so much for chatting to us today, and best of luck against the USA.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.